You might have ruined that. Just so you know, guys, that was a lullaby, and we were fighting about it.
I was coming in hot there.
Over to Chris.
Good start.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 4 or 5 of Pixels and Ink, the official podcast of CG Magazine, where we take a critical eye to gaming, comics, tech, and media, and movies this week. I'm your host today, Chris DeHoog, and I'm joined by our editor-in-chief, Brendan Fry.
Hello there, Chris.
Dana Eileen.
Hey, did Brendan just hit puberty over there? You'll hear it later. When you listen to this later, you'll be like, oh, damn, that happened. It did. I want you to know.
Corrected. It's not going to make
sense.
Hey, we all have our regrets.
Can you do that? Puberty is Brendan's regret. What?
We've all been there. That's fine. We're also joined by Jordan Biordi.
Hello.
Oh my God, let's break out the voice changer. It's not far away.
That backfired last time.
You just gotta like pinch your neck.
That backfired last time we used that. We shouldn't break that in. We don't want to embarrass Brendan again.
Not sponsored by Rockstar, but this one's gross, just in case you're wondering. I brought it for you, but then you ate all the peanut butter cups, so now I have it. That's how it went.
That's the way the week went. What the?
Now you really hit puberty.
The rest of the podcast.
I knew you were too quiet through all of that chiding.
Yeah, he was using his thinking brains.
I was finding the voice changer.
Yeah.
Very subtly done, sir. Good job.
His thinking was it though? If you knew he was doing it, was it?
Well, I mean, there was a moment of, is he? I feel like he is.
Is it gonna happen? Is it
gonna happen? And then it did. And then the demon came out. Anyways.
I lost our window. There we go. Hi.
We all good now?
No. Continue.
We're gonna go anyways? Should we go anyways? All right.
Cool.
So, I had a lot of game announcements this week. Yeah, imagine that, game announcements. It's been a while.
Impossible.
We had our first real Nintendo Direct since like February, which brought a smattering of stuff, including a smattering.
I like that.
A veritable smattering.
Yes, a smorgasbord.
Like
a cornucopia, if you will.
Let's
almost Thanksgiving. Come on.
Let's talk about the big bombshell thing that came at the end of the Direct. We finally have a name for the Breath of the Wild sequel. It is called
Tears of the Kingdom.
My kingdom was full of tears too.
Yeah.
I think that's fitting for like Game of Thrones and all that jazz. They're all really sad, so why isn't Zelda too? All the kingdoms sad.
All of the kingdoms sad.
I tried to be funny. It didn't work.
So sad that one kingdom aired the Direct an hour later. But yeah, we got a quick look at Breath of the Wild 2. It wasn't a whole lot to go off for a game that we now know is coming out in May, but what we saw looks pretty cool, I thought.
It does.
I like that you're still calling it Breath of the Wild 2.
I know.
It has a name, and you're like, nah, mine's better.
It's been 3 years of Breath of the Wild 2. It's gonna take a bit to adjust.
Yeah. It looked. I mean, like kind of like you said, we didn't really get a lot out of it. Like I was trying to like put things together, like in the initial like little rune wall. It looked like they had like a couple like icons of like what I'm guessing are going to be MacGuffins. So I'm really hoping that they actually have like a return to like classic Zelda style dungeons. As much as I really loved the like little like dungeons, the way they did dungeons in Breath of the Wild, like it would have been nice to see like more traditionalized Zelda style dungeons. But yeah, you got a glider thing. That's neat.
I wore my Zelda shirt in honor of this occasion. That's as good as I got.
Nice.
There you go. Jordan's shirt, it looks like it says be a nice woman from here. I'm pretty sure it says human. There we go. It got clear.
Yeah,
like, all
it's
right, if
clear
I have
on the
to.
stream. It's fine.
Yeah.
It could be both.
I'm not fierce enough to sport a shirt like that.
Maybe don't.
I don't have enough charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent. Let's just say.
You may as well have one that just says campaign. You should smile more. Get punched 3 times a day. I really should. I'm kind of miserable, but it's fine. Don't wear a shirt that says that, folks.
We can keep the miserable train going. So I'm probably the only one here, and I said this after the direct, who like rolled his eyes into the back of his head when the direct started with another Fire Emblem. It was like
yes, Fire Emblem.
Yeah, but why are you not doing that at another Zelda?
because there has
Zelda.
been
Because I like them.
no, but this is the thing, is that I actually like Fire Emblem. I do. But it's like Breath of the Wild was a launch title on the Switch, okay? So it's like I feel like there's been a reasonable amount of time between Zeldas, but like on the Switch alone, and even kind of going back into like the 3DS, we've had no shortage of Fire Emblems. Like Three Houses came out not but like 3 years ago, and then they put out a freaking Musou game based on the game that just came out. It's like now we're throwing another Fire Emblem into the mix. It's just like, I don't know. I'm happy people are happy about it, and I'm sure I will end up playing it because I do like Fire Emblem a lot. But it's just like, you're sitting on top of like F-Zero, Kirby, well, not Kirby because they just did a Kirby game.
And another one.
Didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah. That's another thing we could talk about too. That I was kind of like, fine. They're sitting on top of like F-Zero, Star Fox, the Mother series. They could have literally done a sequel to Arms, and I would have been happy. Like they got they got like all these good ideas and good properties that just like kind of like letting go to waste. It's just like, why not do something with them? You know what? Arms was a genuinely cool idea when it first came out. Like I was like, and it was nice to see that Nintendo was still like coming out with new stuff. But like I don't know. It's just like I said, it's just like it just feels like we're getting a little too much Fire Emblem saturation. Like let's break it up a little bit.
I mean, but that's what I've been saying for ages about every game, is they're all just the new version of the last game, like most games, or same game on new system.
But at the very least, I kind of feel like as long as there is a reasonable amount of time between releases, then it's like, yeah, because Nintendo does what Nintendo does. Like they have their their landmark, their flagpole, tentpole franchises, and they're gonna like continue to service them. But it's like, but when you have so many, and there are so many kind of just like that have been sitting in the wings doing nothing, like again, like the last F-Zero game we got was on the GameCube. Like,
okay, yeah.
What are we waiting for? Like F-Zero GX was such a good game. Like, what are we waiting for another F-Zero game? Like,
preferably just new games. That's where I'm
new
at.
games would be nice.
Yeah, I mean, but that's asking an awful lot, people.
Like
I mean,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
It kind of depends too on like the actual development teams at Nintendo that are making it, right? Like Intelligent Systems is making Fire Emblem. I'm not sure who was on F-Zero was a game I never like played or cared for much, so I don't really know who's developing that. But like, Intelligent Systems is over here doing that thing, and then whoever makes the other games is, maybe they're doing something else.
Yeah, it seems like GX was developed like in-house by Nintendo. Amusement Vision, it says Ryuga Gotoku Studio. So I'm pretty sure it was kind of like, yeah, it was pretty much developed in-house at like Nintendo Japan.
Well, like the other thing too is like there's a lot of them that are in-house now too, right? Like, 'cause I'm pretty sure they basically bought out Intelligent Systems. Like they were always kind of like an adjacent thing in the past couple of years. I believe they actually just purchased it and brought it properly into the fold.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I mean, maybe there's not enough teams to go around for all these things, or maybe they internally don't think there's enough interest in it because Fire Emblem or Fire. There it goes. It's taking over the conversation too. F-Zero is one of those ones that they just kind of seem like they don't seem to think there's any interest in it. Until recently, Metroid was kind of the same, right?
Yeah. I or at least like a traditional 2D Metroid, but even that is like weird because there's no shortage of like fans asking for these things. So like, and that's like I know it makes me sound like one of those like wiener fanboys who's like, I want Zelda and I want this and I want that, but it's like, but I kind of do. Like I'm just it's like we keep getting the same franchises over and over and over again, and then and it's like you can kind of see where they're beginning to stagnate a little bit. Like
Weird franchise you want them to make a new one of? Come on, really quick, go.
a new franchise.
Weird one that you want them to make a second one of. I'm here to throw off everything today.
Besides F-Zero, yeah.
I mean, I did say ARMS, and I actually
That's
wouldn't
weird.
mind
Weird
seeing
as-
ARMS.
I didn't know that was a real thing, so I guess
It's
Yeah,
a
I
real
no,
told you.
ARMS
thing.
was cool. It's like it was like a sort
Oh
of like
no, my
the
nephew played
long
that.
arm punching game.
Yeah,
It
It was
was
their
a cool
Joy-Con
idea.
gimmick thing, yeah.
yeah, I remember
But
that.
it wasn't
Remember.
that Joy-Con. I
But
think 1-2 Switch was more.
that was the gimmick. That was the Wii Play, and Wii Sports was like or
Yeah.
the ARMS was the Wii Sports of the launch.
Mhm.
One other thing that kind of wrinkled with the Fire Emblem thing before we move on from that one, apparently, like according to the rumors, which were kind of verified somewhat by the announcement, this game might have been sitting around basically finished for the last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
there was
weird.
rumors a few months back where there were screenshots of the character with the two colored hair. The people started joking about it,
Mhm.
calling it Toothpaste Chan back then. Yeah, like those screenshots turned out to be pretty accurate. So, those rumors suggested that it had been sitting around finished, more or less finished, for the better part of a year.
That's
So
kind of strange, I have to say.
Delightful.
I'll
I'm
be
assuming
honest.
COVID, right?
When I first was like looking at the trailer, like I
Yeah.
genuinely thought it was a mobile game. I was looking at it, I was like, because it's just the way it looked like it was designed. I was like, really? Fire Emblem? And I kept looking at it, I'm like, oh wait, I'm pretty sure this is a mobile thing. And then I saw like the buttons, like commands with like the ZR, and I was like, oh no, okay, no, it's going to Switch.
It
So it's
kind
like-
of has the look of an anniversary game, but it's not an anniversary year. Like having the whole mechanic of
No.
summoning past heroes. That seems like it's the kind of thing they would do on the anniversary. But I looked it up, and it's like the 33rd anniversary next year. That's not even like a significant
Yeah.
year.
33rd. Hey man, 33 matters.
Hey, it does.
I just
Not as much as 35.
looked into the
Mm.
chat, and I think to answer Dana's question of a weird series coming back, Progenitor said Legend of Dragoon, which I would like be 100% behind.
Mhm.
Like but I don't know if the question was more specifically tailored to like Nintendo properties, but
That was definitely
yeah,
Sega.
no, was it
No,
Sega
it's
that did it?
Sony. It was
Sony? Oh, it was PlayStation. You're right.
yeah, it was PlayStation.
Yeah, it was. Was it
I
Square
think-
that did it, or
No, it wasn't Square. Legend of Dragoon was basically their response to Final Fantasy VII because they kind of took
I
that
thought he
whole
just spelled
graphical
dragon
style.
wrong.
no?
that's
Legend of
Dragoon.
Dragoon was so good.
But yeah, I think the ball for that is in Sony's court. But again, I would
Yeah.
love to see it. That's
Yeah,
one
it
of
was
our
a
most popular
really,
articles
really
of the
good
first half of the year was about how that should come back. So I will definitely vouch for that one. But yeah, that's Fire Emblem. But the other kind of surprise announcement in the end of the stream was Kirby's Return to Dreamland getting remastered. Which I don't know about anyone else, but that excited the hell out of me because I've been wanting to play that with my kids, and I didn't want to track down a Wii version that cost
Yeah,
$200.
Is
Thanks
that
to
a
Kirby in the
Wii?
Forgotten Land.
that's a Wii game.
Yeah, 10 years
That's-
old, I think it is. Yeah.
That's kind of I kind of like I guess I chuckled a little bit because I still have my copy of Legend or Return to Dreamland, and I was like, well, it's one of the like better-ish Kirby games, so I'll take it on the Switch over like Star Allies and Forgotten Land. I don't like what they did to DDD though. I don't like that he's all like modeled after the Forgotten Land DDD. I miss the old
I don't have a clue
Like-
who that is.
King DDD, the big blue guy with the hammer.
Are we just saying letters now?
DEDEDE, King DDD. That's
That's
Cute.
what you're just saying.
Cute.
Your response to that was just to
I was
say
about to
letters.
say a number.
Yeah, that one's on you. You weren't specific enough.
I guess you got me there. but
But,
that one is pretty cool. It is one of the better ish Kirby games.
They're
Yo-
investing in him. I gotta say, like,
Yeah,
Forgotten Land's been a big
big time.
success for it, and
I was it was kind of funny, and like it's something I didn't like. I guess I didn't fully realize until I watched like Donkey's video about the direct, just how
I don't know who
much-
Donkey is, so I'm
Video
sorry.
game
we're just
Donkey.
on,
Oh, dude.
on first name basis with this guy.
Dude, he is hot fire when it comes to gaming content on YouTube. He
we're hot fire.
Yeah.
we are on fire. But he oh no, I'm not. I can make this whole podcast. I did not realize how much farming sim content like took up the direct because there was a lot.
I did. I noticed. I absolutely
Yeah.
noticed. I don't notice a lot of things, but I noticed that.
I wasn't putting it together at the time because I was like, there was a trailer for Fae Farm, and I was like, oh, this looks cool. Like I'm into this. And then trailer for Story of Seasons: A Wonderful Life, which is like such an underrated, Story of Seasons games. It's so cool to see it getting like a full up like remaster, and I'm like, okay, like I'm into this. That's cool. Like, but then Square Enix shows up with what was it? Various
Harvestella.
Day Life? No,
Oh,
not
Various
Harvest.
Day Life. Yeah, that's another one. That's less of a farm sim, more of like a life
Just a
sim. thing.
Jobs.
Can I have a life sim?
it's
Can we
it's
sim
like.
this?
Can someone tell me what's going on at Square? Like, did they just give up on naming video games? Like,
No, I think they like the naming schema. Okay.
Power Wash Simulator.
sucks.
Great game. Great
That's
game.
fine.
Between Octopath Traveler, which is a garbage video game name, Triangle
There's
Strategy,
8
which is
plus.
Oh god,
Thank
let's not get
you,
you
Chris.
talking about triangle strategy.
like Triangle Strategy again, terrible name, and now Various Day Life. You couldn't have called it like I don't know something like Fantasy in the Job of I don't
Wow.
know.
Clearly, you can do better, kind sir.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not getting paid by Square Enix to come up with names.
That
I
is
mean,
true.
you are a writer though, so you
Okay, you give me an hour and I'll.
But
come up
is
with
he an
something good.
improv writer? Is that a thing? Can you write improv? I don't think that's how
I mean,
that works.
by
but-
definition, probably not. But
Eh,
I don't know. I like Octopath Traveler as a name because that was like 8 paths and it's different. But anyways, we're beside the point here. Except to say, Octopath Traveler 2 was announced. That was a
Yes,
bit of a
they did
surprise.
announce that.
And soon
Whoa.
too, which is
Happened.
nice to see. We're seeing a lot of like announcements this week. They're like, "This is coming." When? It's coming. So it's nice to see some
Eventually.
solid
At
dates.
some point it's coming.
2074.
Oh,
Well-
here's another Square Enix name: Theatrhythm.
Yeah, I
no.
can't say that.
Eternal Rhythm.
I literally
debate of my
tried in my
existence.
head to nope.
It's
Nope.
it's
absolutely
kind
not.
of like the theater rhythm.
What
Theater
is
rhythm.
it though? Whoa. Sorry,
a
that was
rhythm
really loud.
It's a rhythm game, but
Okay.
it's based on all Final Fantasy music, which is widely regarded.
Oh,
now
so
as
that
supposed
makes
to be
you.
some of
That's the one
best
you
video game
squealed
music.
at.
It
Is
is.
that the one you squealed at all by yourself?
I squealed at it in my basement alone as I was watching the
alright.
direct and writing up.
That's how most people will play it. So
Oh,
I will say,
It's a
I
jab.
will say,
I'm mean to Chris today, I guess.
dagger
he's
out of
my
the heart.
favorite.
We'll move
you know
on.
what, Chris, I got your back on this because Theta Rhythm actually was a really cool game, and I'm super
It was
into
fun.
it. So,
Yeah, it was fun on the DS. I'm not
oh yeah,
100% sure how it's going to work on Switch, but there was the Kingdom Hearts game, Melody of Memory, that was kind of the same idea for Kingdom Hearts
Oh.
music. So I'm assuming it's going to be like that.
okay. Here you go, Dana. Here's an answer to your previous question about weird franchises coming back for Nintendo. Elite Beat Agents. That game fucking slaps.
Mhm.
Oh, it had,
I
I
wasn't
wasn't
oh,
sure
it
if you were
was
going to go
so
slaps or slays, but either way,
No.
I'm happy.
cool. That game
Slay.
ruled.
All right. I'm very happy for you. I'm watching the trailer for this game with no sound on though, so it's just like
Oh,
buttons
It
moving
doesn't work.
past very quickly.
Yeah,
I'm like,
no,
well,
you
this
need to-
seems
you need to
wild.
it's like Guitar Hero
thrilling.
on mute. Yeah, it's not much
Oh, God.
to go off of.
Guitar Hero. Guitar Hero made me cry.
And speaking of Chris, he brought up the whole Melody of Memories thing, which it's like that was something I was wondering too, because like they want to bring in all this music across like various other franchises, like they're gonna bring in like Nier and like stuff like that, which kind of made me wonder because they said and more, which kind of made me wonder like if they are gonna bring music from Kingdom Hearts like into this one too, because it just sort of seems like I don't know. I've been seeing a lot of weird content that it seems like I don't know if Disney or Square is like getting more on board with Kingdom Hearts because they're doing stuff at Disneyland now that like incorporates Kingdom Hearts.
I would say Kingdom Hearts will be the one franchise that's off the table because probably some licensing issues. Disney kind of has a hand in everything Kingdom Hearts, so
Mm.
And even some of the vocal, so the one DLC pack, or sorry, the one version of the game is going to have some 27 bonus tracks that are exclusive to that edition. And among them are some of like the vocal themes from the endings of games, like Memories of Life from Final Fantasy IX, which has a singer in it. So my kind of tinfoil hat here is that like that maybe that's in there because they needed to pay extra for the licensing for those songs. There's also songs from the Primals, which is like the band made up of the Final Fantasy 14 composer doing like hard rock arrangements of Final Fantasy 14 music. Same thing with the Black Mages, which was a similar project. So I'm assuming that's why some stuff's shunted off into DLC passes.
I wonder if they're going to put Gact from the singer Gact, who was
is a real person.
That was what was his name? The guy
Genesis.
Yeah. You knew exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah, this comes up a lot in Final Fantasy circles.
Good old Genesis, modeled after Gact, and they put 2 of his songs in Dirge of Cerberus. There's a whole like extended scene where you're flying and it's like a rail shooter, and it's like Gact.
Gact, for the uninitiated, is a Japanese pop star idol, prog rock star, anyways. But he lent his likeness for a Final Fantasy VII character, and then did some tax evasion and some other shiesty stuff. And yeah. There's your obscure history lesson for today. But speaking of Genesis, Crisis Core Remastered is coming out in December, which is something else that made me squeal in my basement alone.
That's pretty. No, I'm excited about that too, because that was the one of the few like Final Fantasy VII related things that I like didn't play.
Was that PSP?
PSP, yeah.
Yep.
And it kind of got stuck on there too. Like it didn't come out on Vita. Like it wasn't playable on Vita.
I heard it was really good. So.
It really was actually,
yeah.
Minus some wibbly wobbly, timey wimey type of retconning stuff, but not literal time travel, but they kind of retcons and stuff, and people have issues with that. But we can experience that for ourselves in December.
7 Remake is probably going to retcon some stuff too.
That's a whole other time. That's a whole other. Dana's eyes are glazing over. Let's move on.
Dana,
shit! I never get called out for that. At what, the Nintendo Direct? Is that where we're at still? I'm digging that. I'm kidding. I'm digging that the older Mario parties are going to come to N64. Those were like those were like my childhood. So to get my kids playing those, although the newest Mario Party just kind of has all that stuff in it. So realistically, however you want to take that.
That was one of my things where like initially seeing it as it was playing out, I was like that's great, but like is it gonna be just like local play? Are they gonna make it online? Because they are making one thing online, and it kind of seems like you would do it for the rest of them.
Yeah, for sure.
Generally speaking, these things, like for the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo things, they have the online play added. I don't know if they do that for the Nintendo 64 because I don't have the expansion pass, but
I think the online only works with friends is the thing, is my thing.
Probably, which is probably fine too.
That's why I was wondering, because it's like one of those things where it's like if they did, because my assumption and what I was sort of leading into was the whole GoldenEye with online play makes it seem like they're going to put GoldenEye on the N64 with like just like regular online matchmaking with randos, which is a really good idea. Maybe you could have done that for like Mario Party and Mario Tennis and all these other like classic N64 games if you had the capability to do it.
Right.
But where do you draw the line, right? Like all of us have our own favorite. Yeah, that's just it though, because I'm sure if you ask everybody what your like classic N64 game between the 4 of us, they're probably completely different.
I'm just gonna
Brendan has
one.
If I'm paying $50 a
I didn't have
year
N64
for the luxury to play N64 games, like where's that $54 going? It better be to maintaining some pretty.
Well, I mean, $54 a year isn't really like calm yourself.
That's enough.
I'm super fidgety. It's
enough.
not enough to say, give me everything that's ever happened ever. Like,
it's enough to say like, oh, maybe we should have some extra features added, but it's also a matter of, are they going to be able to dive into the source code and add a lobby into the code for a 64 game?
I think so. It's pretty much
kind of more the restriction.
It's been like well established that they're running emulators for those games, and people can mod emulators. Like,
but the whole point of Nintendo was to like bring people together, and that doesn't necessarily mean strangers online. Like the
What
Wii
brings
was
me-
built that way. It was supposed to be like the party system, and it still is.
Mhm.
So you know what? Grab some friends, give them a Joy-Con, sit down and shut up.
Okay, as a grown adult woman with kids, tell me how easy it is to grab 3 friends and say, "Come on over to my house. We're playing
Well-
Mario Party."
well, in
on
my
the
case,
N64."
I would be playing with the kids.
Yeah, but who wants
No,
to play
random
with
friends.
They
I don't have any
No, okay.
friends. Like
I
what?
have kids. I don't have friends.
Yeah.
It's friends or kids.
My 3-year-old told me I was her best friend yesterday, so all of you can
See?
piss off.
have
That's
a
all
best
that
friend.
matters in life. No, yeah, I guess like we used to have game nights with my brother and his wife and all that jazz, but we definitely don't do that stuff anymore. I mean, they make good date nights. I can say that much because I don't like leaving the house.
Again, you have kids you don't date.
Yeah, that's true too. That's
I suppose.
self-reflection. No, I know what you mean, Jordan. I do. I think it's just at some point we need to stop demanding everything of every system
Yeah.
and pick and choose.
Because yeah, I think in the case of these games, at least in particular, having the local multiplayer will be enough for a lot of people. Because again,
Okay.
even if they do add online multiplayer, you're still asking your friends to pay that $64 whatever it
Mhm.
costs a year for the expansion pass thing
Mhm.
too. So I
Well,
think
that's what I'm
local is
saying,
going to
if
be
you-
the way to go.
If they did at the very least make these games like online playable with just random people, like you're already connecting with people who are already paying for this service, right? Like you're not necessarily like requiring other
Yeah.
people to have to get a subscription. It's like you're just
You're making
connecting
new friends.
like-minded people already. Like
Nobody has a mind like mine.
Well,
Settle down.
also, it was kind of a hurdle for them to get this in the first place too, right? So they had to work it out with Rare, and of course Xbox is like, well, we get it too, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, you get it without the online multiplayer. Fine, we need it.
Yes.
Yeah. And well,
Speaking
it's
of
like
so go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, isn't it also like a weird like double rights issue? Because I know because Rare
GoldenEye too. Yeah.
developed it, Nintendo published it, but then like
Right.
doesn't like Universal own the
Activision owns
rights
part of it too. Yeah.
because it's a James Bond based on a movie.
Yeah,
venture, like with
There's got to be the
with
movie
Pierce
license
Brosnan
involved
and
too,
everything.
right?
Yeah.
Pierce Brosnan's probably like, not yet.
Yeah. There's a lot going on with those licensing.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
So that in itself, getting this on that system alone is probably a big enough hurdle to clear without, again, shunting a multiplayer lobby into an
Yeah.
old game.
Or
'Cause,
maybe
again,
they just need to save something for their next announcement, and that's why.
Yeah, there you
don't
go.
think it's
They're going to
happening.
do the whole
brother's
thing
like, "No,
properly
I'll tell
and
you
there's
later."
a separate release.
I'll tell you later.
Because they also, one other thing that kind of ticked people off at the N64 announcement specifically is that Pokemon Stadium and Pokemon Stadium 2 are not going
Yes.
to allow you to transfer things over.
That's oh my god! So yeah, that was the one that made me laugh the most because when I saw that like Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2, I was like, perfect, minus the one thing that made it interesting.
Yeah,
Like,
it's yeah,
Unless
it's
they-
a deep rabbit hole. I was reading the other day about like all the things they could have been doing with it,
yeah.
but
There's why. Why could they should make a Pokemon Stadium for the Switch?
well, if those rumors of the Game Boy Advance or Game Boy games coming to the online system come true eventually, which fingers crossed they will, maybe they'll update Pokemon Stadium to include that, and it's just a temporary thing that you won't be able to do.
Yeah,
with it.
maybe.
Maybe.
I kind of feel like they could have done something like even without needing to do that. Like the thing that would make sense to me is getting a way to tie it to the Pokebank because like they can update the Pokebank to include like all the modern stuff. They're doing it for Arceus for no reason. Or I guess they did it for Arceus for no reason. So it's like, why not just connect it to there and then like that way you can kind of transfer your Gen 1 Pokemon whatever to the Pokebank through
Yeah.
or whatever, and then be able to use them in Stadium. Like
Let's all stare at Dana.
I lost my crap and then I couldn't hide it anymore. Hi, it's not laughing at you guys at all. I promise. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I mean, again, we're grown men talking about Pokemon. You can laugh at us
Yeah,
if you want
I
to.
started turning the lights at home on and off with Alexa and changing the colors. I just got a message. You're turning off my lights. like, yeah, I know. And I thought it was funny. And then I'm
That was-
sorry, guys.
That was kind of the point. I'm trolling you
I-
from a distance.
I'm sorry. I'm not an adult. I have no focus today. I
Yeah.
tried. Okay. I tried.
It's
Pokemon
okay.
happened though.
I mean,
Yeah,
Pokemon does happen.
Pokemon happened.
Oh, it did.
And
So many.
my
Pokemons. Have
Emoto
we
troll
still
us
not
all.
gotten to Goldeneye.
Yeah.
Can we
Well,
get to
did you-
Goldeneye, please?
We just talked
did,
about
we
Goldeneye.
talked Yeah,
Did
we?
we? Did we
You missed it. You were busy
completely
fishing with
talk
the
about it?
lights.
You,
Yeah,
you-
that's it.
Yeah.
What else is there to talk about?
I don't know.
But did you have something
Odd
else
Jobs
to
and
add
how my
about
brother
it?
and I are gonna fight again. Odd
there's a
Jobs.
You guys
stream.
ever
You guys
play-
need to stream it.
Did
Oh
you
my
guys ever play
God.
with the hostage rule?
What's that one?
It's a dumb rule that makes no sense, but it just was fun to us when we were kids. So it's like whenever we used to
Okay.
play GoldenEye, if you saw someone, this is the stupidest thing, you could call hostage and they would have to stop and like do whatever you said. So we would just like tool around and make them do stupid things until you inevitably
Amazing.
just killed them.
I love
And but like for some, we played on the honor system. If somebody called hostage, that's it. You had to stop. And you just like you throw
Okay.
like a big ring of it, like proximity mines around them, and just like make them like say stupid shit.
That's
I feel that
It
is
was good
a
times.
rule only you and your friends did. because
Yeah,
think
no,
so.
it definitely
no,
was. but
that's
it was, like,
amazing. I think
it
it's
was
delightful.
such a fun time.
I think it's
My
delightful.
limited exposure to the game was only basically Golden Guns mode. And that was it.
Yeah.
I didn't have an N64, so I never really
Yeah,
got on the hype.
Who are you?
I had
What else?
PlayStation.
Yeah.
it was a PlayStation. Kid.
I don't think
Oh,
I touched a PlayStation until like PS5.
Really.
There was a
Yeah.
PS3 with my ex, but I was like, nah, I'm good.
Ugh.
So yeah, I've never been a
Respect lost.
PlayStation girl. Excuse
No,
me. We're
we-
gonna have to ask you to leave, sir.
we had a crappy PC, and then like all the games my dad ever bought for us like barely worked. And then he was like, you know what, screw it, I'm taking these back, and we're gonna get something else. You want an N64 or a PlayStation? And we did the research, and we're like PlayStation. And then we experienced Metal Gear Solid, and it was the best decision I ever made.
Yeah,
There we go.
That's
I
fair.
agree that.
I can see that.
I went the
Metal Gear-
N64 route.
Yeah, we were Nintendo.
That was my jam,
kids.
and then right on
Born and raised.
to some Crystal Xbox, which is still working.
That's
I think
impressive.
I remember there was like the year that like all the systems had come out, and like my brother like wanted to get an Xbox, and I was
Mhm.
kind of like, no, like what are you talking about? Like we need to get the GameCube, like we need to get the new Nintendo system, like
The GameCube and Xbox come out at the same time.
Same
Possibly.
November, yeah.
yeah.
How did I have?
2020, 2001, yeah.
Oh, okay, I guess I got an Xbox really late then, because like I got an Xbox in high school.
Okay. The
Yeah.
Xbox.
I wasn't in high school in 2001, Brendan. You're 100.
So
What year did
you
you
have
graduate,
the-
kind sir?
Graduated high school in 2004.
Mm-hmm.
No,
So
wait, that's
I
not
was-
right. That's not right. I graduated.
It's
university-
not because we are not 2 years apart. So,
I graduated university in 2006.
which is when I graduated high school. Just throwing that out there, old man.
So I guess that'd be 2002.
Cool.
Back when dinosaurs
Anyway.
still roamed.
Anyway, because I
Never
remember us
dating
having
ourselves.
a GameCube, but my brother actually bought me my first Xbox for Christmas one year,
Yeah.
and then I skipped Christmas to play Fable, and you know
That's
now
a
I'm
valid
here. So
response.
thanks, Joe. Yeah.
So the Crystal Xbox, was that the translucent green one?
Translucent white, not green.
Oh, okay. Because I had the translucent
was-
green one.
Mine was what?
I still got it actually. The
Yeah, we
disc tray
still
will
got
not
the
stay
crystal
shut.
one.
I bought myself.
Duct
I had a GameCube for the longest time, and then when I got my first,
We can't hear
job,
you.
We can't hear
I
what you're saying.
said I had a GameCube for the longest time, and then when I had my very first job working at Tim Hortons, my very first paycheck, I bought myself a like mini PlayStation 2 because one
Okay.
of the guys I went to school with was telling me about this exciting, amazing game called Kingdom Hearts, and I had to play it. He's like, dude, it's
There
like
you are.
Final Fantasy and Disney, and that like blew my mind.
It was a weird. That was a weird moment.
And yeah, I was super weird. I mean, I was the perfect age to get into it, so that's kind of
That's
why. But going back to the Nintendo Direct, was excited to see Tunic finally like getting back onto the Switch, because
Yeah.
when it was initially like announced before like Xbox or before Microsoft like bought up a ton of studios, like it was slated to go to the Switch.
hmm
but
it feels like it
kinda
belongs there. Like, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It kind of, the trailer made it look like it's running at 10 frames a second, and that worried me that maybe this game is like too much for the Switch to handle. I guess time will tell. What else was there? We got the big Pikmin 4 announcement. That was
Oh yeah,
pretty
that
cool.
happened.
Yeah, that was the
Kind of
thing.
It was funny that they had to take time out of the direct to like remind people that Pikmin Bloom was a thing, because like I guess no.
Oh yeah, that was a thing. That happened.
It's stupid. It's not a game. Like it's not even like it's like okay, it's cute, it's whatever, but it's like, you know, as much as like Pokemon Go kind of encourages you to go out for walks, Pikmin Bloom is like the mobile game that encourages you to go out for walks and nothing else. Like there is no game behind it.
Don't you collect Pikmin?
What is
Pikmin-
it now?
I don't know how it works actually.
It's like okay, so you go out for walks and you kind of get some Pikmin, and then like as you walk you'll see like other like little seed pods for like Pikmin, so
Mhm.
you can send some Pikmin to go like grab them. And
So
then you have
Pikmin
to, like,
are plant-based creatures?
yeah, you didn't know that?
I know. Why would I know that?
Because
Pikmin
you
doesn't do
work
anything
in
for me.
games media. Pikmin, Miyamoto came up with the idea for Pikmin when he was like gardening, and he was like, wouldn't it be fun if the little like vegetables came out and helped you complete your tasks? And that's how he like came up with the idea of like pulling the little guys out of the ground, and they like help you do stuff. So yeah, and then you walk more to like, you know, get the steps to like grow the Pikmin, and it's just like it's pretty nothing. And
Cool.
yeah, there wasn't
I'm glad that
there wasn't
exists.
there wasn't enough Pikmin 4 to make me go like whoopity doo. So that's whatever. But
No whoopity do is what I'm
No
understanding.
whoopee,
Well,
Jordan. No whoopee.
Just a whoopee, not a whoopity do. Maybe just a whoop.
We'll say the whoopity doo is pending.
Pending.
Whoop.
On,
There it will
on-
be.
Yeah.
Pendity-doo.
Further information.
A potential
hard.
whoopee doo.
Master Detective
Whoop, there may
Archives-
be.
Jordan's like, I'm not having any of this. Please stop.
Because we're half an hour in.
I know.
Moving along.
I feel like we've covered enough. Tunic
No,
is coming.
Yeah.
There.
I do want to
Like-
say Master Detective Archives Raincoat looks freaking awesome.
I didn't even see that.
It looks like
It looks
super
like Persona.
action- It looks like Persona mixed with action Phoenix Wright, and I'm like super into it.
I want to play It
And
Takes Two, but that's got nothing. That
that's
already
another one that
exists.
like that was like, why doesn't this game come out on Switch first, right? Like, that just seemed like a no-brainer for the Switch.
Yeah, I have weird feelings about It Takes Two.
Okay.
Just because the
Are we
narratively,
unpacking that
it's-
now, or
It's so super weird. I'm sorry. It's about like these two people who clearly like want to get divorced because they're not good enough for each other, but then the story is like there's a magic book that's like, no, if you do a bunch of platforming trials you can solve all the problems with your marriage, and it's like that's just not how
you mean that's
anything
not what I'm
works.
supposed to do?
No.
That might be
marriage
why I'm
counseling class
divorced.
did he go
Shit.
to?
Dark.
It's like, I don't know. It's just it's a super like narratively. It's
Staying in
so-
an unhappy marriage is dark, Brendan. God.
I
it's
mean,
so
yeah,
weird.
that's. I don't like the creator too much. I think he's something else. Joseph
Super weirdo.
Perez. Am I saying his name
What
right?
has he done that's bad?
Apparently
Just
it
his personality. He's the guy who always comes out at the Game Awards and makes a big spectacle of himself. And Jeff Keighley is like,
Yeah.
"Oh no, he's saying the things again. Oh no, someone stop
He was
him!"
He was the
We
guy who
treat-
said
we
fuck
treat,
the
like-
Oscars.
I'm not prepared for tonight.
That's
He's
my
saying the
pantomime.
things again.
You
I
say,
liked
"Oh
it.
no, he's so
It's good.
sensational. Oh, he's so.
Oh
Oh,
my
what's he
God,
gonna say?"
I can't sit still tonight. All
Yeah,
right.
all excited.
Just yeah, that's just
Okay, Nintendo happened.
it happens.
That's what I
We'll-
got.
We'll leave it at my little pantomime display, making ass
I
of
like
That's
it.
myself.
all. It was
So
nothing
good.
else. A lot of
That's
3DS games coming to the Switch with zero
Yeah, pretty
changes to
That's a lot of,
Smash style.
Some great audio to cap it off with. On the same day as the direct, we got more of the announcements, all of the announcements, or not so many really, from the Sony State of Play, which showed us a bunch of stuff that's a little farther off. As I was saying earlier, that it was nice that Nintendo Direct was showing us some stuff that's like on the calendar with a date, and then Sony said, "Here's a bunch of windows to look through."
We did it.
But yeah, we got the first look at Tekken 8, which looks like a Tekken, but
I'm sorry, did we just
Next
say
gen.
8? Like, is it
Tekken 8.
actually number 8, or is it just
No.
that's the name?
it is number 8. It is the 8th
Number
Tekken
8.
game.
Okay,
the
I
main
don't know
series.
Tekken, so there's
It
that.
looks really really good. Like
Does it? I'm
visually, it
currently
looks
looking at it.
beautiful.
Oh, that's really good rain. That's a weird
Oh,
thing to
it-
say, but like I mean it. I'm watching it right
no,
now.
like
That's weird
lighting
rain,
and
but
just
good rain.
like movement, everything. That game looks like
Well, what kind of game
unbelievably
is
good.
it?
It's a
Fighting.
fighting game. It's like Street Fighter.
Oh, okay. I'm less enthused now.
That's why they put Kazuya in Smash Bros. Because it's like Tekken's like a big.
She doesn't
deal.
know who that is.
No, like I just told you I have no idea what's happening. You're like, but this is why this happened. Okay,
You wanna play
Kazuya.
Smash
yeah,
Bros?
it
You
actually
got-
does look really nice though, like the effects and stuff in the background.
Yeah.
Weather. I get very excited by
beautiful.
weather in games. I want to see
Realistic
how the
weather
grass
is-
blows and how the
Yeah.
weather looks. Let me see the water. That's
That is one of the things that like the next gen hardware can possibly make realistic for the first time. Like that's always been something that's like the big hurdles for developers to make
Well, and
realistic looking.
That's why I got
water.
so annoyed with what's that stupid game I just finished playing? Anybody remember that game I just reviewed that we didn't get to talk about that I really didn't like? Nobody?
I don't think you ever told me the name
Yeah.
of it. You just were grumbling about the thing you were
Well,
playing.
I reviewed it and the review said it was bad. Why don't you read all my reviews all the time, guys? God. Steel Rising.
Yeah. You
like-
weren't alone in that. A lot of people didn't think it was very.
Yeah, which I was super stressed out about. I thought I was gonna be like the only one and be like, haha, I'm just a dumb girl.
That
But
and Tiny.
no,
Yeah.
it should have been my main complaint, and Brendan agreed, though he is not here at the moment, was that it just didn't look as good as it should. It's a game built for the current gen systems, is what we should be saying at this point, and it just
Yeah.
looked like something a couple systems ago. Like the grass looked like crap. Bad grass that makes a bad game. Anyway, back
What is
to
the sign?
PlayStation and these beautiful raindrops that are Tekken 8.
Yeah.
They are very good, very nice raindrops.
They are very nice raindrops.
Tekken's never really been my favorite fighting game series. Like I like it, but it's just never one I like that's grabbed me that much. But I'm very curious to see how this one runs. You know, with more time in the next gen development. Like King of Fighters 15 was pretty good for a next gen fighter, but like this looks like a step above already. So
I've got a King of
But,
Fighters existed.
that's coming just vaguely in the future. So who knows when we'll actually get to play it? It's a
Vaguely
thing
in the
that
future.
is existing.
I'm
Mhm.
interested to see, Chris, what you think about Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge.
Is that
I'm of two
the-
minds because it's gonna be a while till I actually get to Galaxy's Edge in person. So I'm like, okay, cool, let's explore the park in VR. That sounds fun. But it's also a VR2 title,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like it's VR2. Sounds fun, but it's gonna be a $600 add-on probably. That
Yeah,
who knows if
probably.
I'll actually play. So
With inflation,
I
as
like
it
the
is,
idea of it. Yeah,
I wasn't sure if they would like release a version that is not VR. I don't know. Do they do that with games? I know they release
Mm.
versions that are VR, so
they might.
it's usually
la
tacking
Among
on,
Us.
not tacking off.
I would like them to
But,
tack off, please. I can't. VR makes me not.
Yeah,
good.
agreed.
Actually, to be fair, I don't think I've played a VR game since like it was put cell phones in headsets.
Mhm.
Like I think that was the last time. And I have a PSVR. No, I have an
Your
Oculus at
Quest.
home.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got the Oculus at home.
MetaQuest.
Meta.
Like that's the only thing.
It's not an Oculus anymore. That's amazing. Just for the record, the box says Oculus.
Yeah. I
So
know.
it's still an Oculus. I hate to break it to you. The new ones might not be, but this one has the name
I
on
think
it.
the software now says MetaQuest, and they've got rid of all the Oculus branding. But
Yeah, it turns out if you work for Meta, Facebook, they give you a VR headset for whatever reason. Has nothing to do with the job, but they're like, here's a headset, and it's sitting in a box in my house.
Soon
currently.
will be.
Yeah, so maybe I should try VR again and see if it makes me
like-
want to throw up.
It's like just take this,
That's fair.
just take this box on your way out of the office, please. It's cluttering our hallway.
Yeah, pretty much. I should do that. I should give like a real VR game a try and not just be like, VR made me hit my head on something, so I'm done.
Clement will thank you for that.
He might, yeah.
yeah, he will.
We'll high five
he-
in the metaverse. I'm sorry.
He wants more people on
leave.
his team, so
I'll
Deal.
leave. I apologize for that bad.
yeah. One other thing they showed was the Hogwarts Legacy getting a unique quest, and that just kind of made me sad that it didn't happen earlier.
Yeah.
Because it looks like a nice game, but I really don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that game would have been my jam, and that makes my heart sad.
Hmm.
it's like seeing your ex and they're doing good for themselves. You're like, damn.
Hey man, I got to meet Voldemort this week, so like, damn it,
Yeah.
Voldemort's got a
did.
nice nose.
I did. He does. He's all right. He grew it back. We're
Ironically.
good.
Yeah.
We're good.
I mean, I guess theoretically, if you did want to play it, you could just like pick it up like a year after it comes out when it's on sale, and then like sales chart like doesn't matter.
Do you like
anymore,
buy
and-
it and then like make a donation to like? Does that? I don't know.
Yeah, they could do that,
Oh,
or
yeah,
wait till
you
it's
know
like
what,
used
yeah.
copies are floating around. Because if you buy
Yeah.
it used, it doesn't go to.
Buy the used copy
Certain,
and
yeah,
still make the
places.
full donation. I
Or
don't know.
just
I
buy
don't
it.
think that's gonna undo it though.
I mean, yeah, well, yeah, I guess.
I hate when dumb people ruin things.
Yeah.
To be clear, her, not people.
Yeah.
Yes, we got you. We got
Just got to be clear there, okay?
Dumb people in general.
Mm,
you. You were the chosen one, Anakin.
yes.
Yeah.
Lisai.
There's one big surprise announcement was Rise of the Ronin from Team Ninja.
Yeah.
This looks cool, but I was again really bummed out at the end of it when I was like, oh, that's just 2024. Okay, well, I guess
That's
I'll
fine.
wait.
And that'll probably change 17 times. So more like 2017.
That's
You'll get
Yeah.
another trailer in 2024 and they'll be like, just kidding. I think I'm a little
Please be
jaded,
excited.
guys. I think I'm a little cranky tonight. It's like nothing's coming ever. Be sad.
why would anything
sorry.
good ever happen?
Yeah.
At first, though, it was giving me some like Ghost of Tsushima vibes, and I was like, "Oh wow, they're doing a sequel already," and it looks like it's set in like the end of the samurai era. That'd be kind of cool, but it's
Mhm.
something else entirely. But it's still a cool setting, like historically.
Yeah.
Like the rebellions that led to the downfall of the samurai are like one of my favorite parts of history. So I'm excited for this one. I again, I just hope it's not too like Souls like. If I can complain about that a little bit, we have Ghost of Tsushima
Exhausting.
already. Like, do we need another Souls type combat?
That's I mean, like,
Samurai?
what was the other one Team Ninja did?
Sekiro? Was that them?
No,
that was still
that
From
was-
Soft.
Neo.
They did Neo,
They did,
and
yeah.
Yeah.
which are very Souls-like samurai games.
And I guess Team Ninja was technically
Um,
Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origins too. So again, Souls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
I mean, we can do an action game that's not a Souls like. You know, it's not illegal.
No,
Yeah,
half the
'cause,
Souls-like.
Damn.
Yeah, because I mean, based on like everything, it doesn't seem like there's any real like implication that it's gonna be a Souls like. So
It's just like Team Ninja's reputation and like the trends in the industry now. It's like it's probably a Souls like, right? It's got to be.
Yeah, 100%, like 1,000%.
maybe. Yeah,
I hope
guess.
I'm wrong. I hope
Literally
it's not.
1,000%.
We can do something more original.
Am I the
I
only
think.
one that still is like no Souls like? Because it makes me
I
sad.
mean, you played a Souls game.
Yeah, remember how that went, Brendan? You were there.
Mm,
Remember when I
amazing-
found out it was a Souls like? Do you remember how that
amazingly
went?
well.
To be fair, everybody else hated it too, so it wasn't my fault. But, like,
Well, I'm with you there. Like I don't really like the
I don't have the
dedicated
patience.
Souls ones.
I don't
Yeah,
have
no,
the
like
patience for it right now. I don't have the time for it, and like jumped into it. I was like, yeah, I can review this in 2 weeks. Just kidding. I haven't
just
killed one
kidding.
thing, and it's been 6 hours. Damn! I just snorted into the microphone. I'm
Yeah,
so
'cause I mean,
sorry.
if
I didn't hear it, but she called it out now, so we're gonna hear it in the replay.
Yeah, absolutely.
if you go back through Team Ninja's like history, they've definitely done a lot more like Ninja Gaidens and Dead or Alives than they have any Souls likes.
And even if it is like a Ninja Gaiden, that was the hard game trend before Souls like was the Ninja Gaiden like,
Yeah.
if we can say that. Like that
Plus,
was
I
a
feel like-
series that frustrated the hell out of me back in the day too.
I'll say having replayed them not super long ago when I reviewed the Master Collection, like there's definitely was like the very first Ninja Gaiden that was on the Xbox is like punishingly hard, and it's like kind of a callback to like the old school Ninja Gaiden. But I feel like 2 and 3 definitely made it a lot easier and a lot more like action focused.
Mhm.
So like
Yeah,
I don't know
'cause
if they
the
learned from their mistakes.
The first one was the remake of the old Xbox one, right? Because they
Um,
released them under like the Sigma names or something,
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
right.
that was Sigma. Yeah.
which made
And
it
even that one is
complicated.
it's still pretty like it's pretty true to the original. But I don't know. I mean, they did Other M. That was cool.
Yeah, I won't say anything bad about that one.
So much enthusiasm. That was-
it's
we
it's
did
a
that.
mostly
Other M's a
good Metroid
loaded
game.
gun in the
Yeah.
Metroid community. People will
it's-
draw on you when you bring it up.
It's a mostly good Metroid game. Terrible story, terrible characterization of Samus, but pretty good game.
I enjoyed the gameplay. I'll leave
Yeah.
it at that. Something else that was personally, I was pretty interested in the Stellar Blade trailer, formerly known as Project Eve. That's something that I saw, I think, at the last state of play, and I thought, oh, that looks kind of cool. And then they brought it back again. I was like, what the hell is this? I've never seen this before. Oh, wait, no, it's this thing.
Yeah, it's that like Bayonetta like.
Yeah, but with like a twist. I can't quite put my finger on it. And it looks like it's doing its own thing too. But yeah, the Bayonetta influence is definitely there.
This one has a sexy Japanese girl, whereas Bayonetta is a sexy British girl. You see.
Yeah, and Beta is in the present, and Stellar Blades is some kind of future situation, so
Yeah,
totally different.
and she's a witch, which is magic, and this is clearly technology, which is sci-fi.
6 degrees of separation.
There you go. It's clearly a different game.
But yeah, that's another vague sometime in 2023 exclusive, but we'll see what comes out of that. Was there anything else jumping out to anybody else?
Well, do you guys play God of War? Like, is that a?
Oh,
Whoa,
God of
just
War
switched
was.
Yeah, I guess that was the thing.
Super
That was
excited about
kind
that. Yeah.
It's kind of like the big thing.
Yeah, I guess
Maybe.
that was
Yeah,
the
it's
thing.
It's like the thing.
I mean,
Maybe,
depends on your
perhaps.
perspective, but
Kind of
Yeah.
just skirted by, nobody really cared.
Yeah, I didn't watch
Wait,
it. I've never played a God of War game, so
Before we get onto God of War, so this whole PlayStation Stars thing is that just NFTs? Because it sounds
No.
like NFTs.
it sounds
No.
like it, but think more like the Steam trading cards and collectibles and stuff like that.
I was gonna compare it to. You guys both played Astros, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know how you go through Astros and there's like, here's a PlayStation and here's an older PlayStation. Like that's what
Yeah,
I
but
was
that
thinking.
was
it was like
that was like a cute little like connection to the game
Yes,
itself,
but
which is
now
basically just like, hey,
you
here's your
can
PS5.
buy digital PS5s
I
that
don't
are
want
little
to, though.
pictures.
But I don't want to do that.
I don't know what you have to buy it with. Like, I guess it's like reward points. Am I mistaken?
That's stupid. That's a very
I would
not
agree.
good idea.
Like,
I mean, yes.
if I'm not mistaken, Xbox, you get points and you can spend them on like games.
Is that what gamer score is? I thought that was just
No, it's not gamer
Digital
score. It's something
dick waving.
different. But yeah, you can absolutely. If I take a minute, I can go find it. But yeah, I've got a bunch of points, and they're like, spend your points, and
guess
they're
Nintendo
like,
does that
it'll
too,
say
with
play
points.
play this many games this week, and if you do that, you
Hmm.
get points, and then you can buy
Mhm.
stuff. And I know people that are saving them up and buying entire like new games with them.
yeah.
And
Nintendo kinda
PlayStation's
does
over
that
here
too.
like, hey guys, but don't you want a picture of another PlayStation?
Just
What?
want a digital
I mean,
model.
it's a thing.
Ask me how I feel. Ask me.
How do you
You're
know?
really loving it.
Look at my face. No.
So back when it was announced in July, Phil, our writer, compared it to the Platinum point system that Nintendo has.
Mhm.
There's just like you get little bonus things just for playing the games and doing other stuff like that. Like it's not an NFT because that's a whole other thing. Like that's got the whole blockchain implications and stuff like that. From what I mean, I don't really understand NFTs that well. I just know they're a worse version of DLC essentially.
Yeah, I don't get it.
But yeah, no, sounds to me like what Steam does with the trading card thing that they have. If you don't use Steam, like you can get trading cards from playing most games, I think. And then those things can be traded in, and you get like emoticons based on the game or like profile backgrounds.
How many different rewards do you need to get for one thing? Because like there's Xbox has achievements, PlayStation has trophies, I think, right?
Mhm.
And now you're gonna get something else on top of that, all of which you can do absolutely nothing with. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Like
But we gamers love completionism and collecting stuff.
yeah, I'm a sucker for that. But I like that in my game.
Fair.
Yeah.
Like I will collect like Animal Crossing. My island just has a huge patch of cement that I have collections on. I've got the whole diner collection. Like that is what I do. And I'm like, here, they're displayed. And when you run through it, it glitches. So fun fact. But like that is what I do in my game. Not
Right.
like what are you gonna do with that in your system? I'm gonna go look at these pictures now. What?
I mean, maybe.
Rage.
Yeah,
Right.
I think it's some like making more of like a outside of game experience too. Like it's like, oh, check out my profile. I've got this stuff. Like
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know. I barely look at anything in my actual like system. I'm like in the game. Outside, I don't know what it looks like.
Trying to keep you in the game when you're out of the game.
Yeah, I don't.
Um,
Sorry. I'm really salty about that
that's
apparently.
okay.
Weird.
Hey, it's valid.
Mm.
Yeah, Ragnarok. That controller looks nice, but that was about.
It
I mean,
does.
to me, the
Yeah.
trailer was just kind of more of the same. I'm also
I-
not that excited for Ragnarok because I haven't played the first game, so
Yeah,
I'm not the
I'm not
market
a
for this
God
one.
of War.
So good.
I don't like God of War, but I really like that controller. Like again, don't even play PlayStation. Really, I could if I wanted to. How about that?
You really
And,
should play God of War. I mean,
It's
Like
one of those
what-
backlog games, right? Where it's just like, oh, I should
Yeah.
play this, and it's just sitting there with my PS Plus
Yeah.
collection gathering.
I do need like a
dust.
new grown-up game. Like can I please tell
Mhm.
you how many like farming simulators I've downloaded onto my Switch or my Xbox in the last like 3 days? I'm just piling them up. Like this
Mhm.
is exhausting. Like how many farms am I
know.
going to tend to? I need to stab something.
So you're
So
farming farm sims, in other words.
I am pretty much. Oh, my life is so sad.
No, chase your bliss.
Yeah, I've got a few coming. Yeah. One of which Jordan can't really talk about right now.
can I not talk about it?
Not till tomorrow.
Well, this is coming out tomorrow. Which is
airing.
No,
technically
we're
today.
live.
It's live currently.
Oh, damn it.
We can talk about its existence, just not your thoughts and opinions.
Oh shit, we're
Cancer.
live.
There's a demo for it, so I feel like I can talk about it. They put
we
out
talk
a
about?
demo.
You're
for it.
dancing with the devil right there,
Yeah,
Jordan.
you can talk about the demo, but you can't screw it up.
So long as you say
I
nothing that's
didn't really
outside
play
of the demo.
Yeah.
I never didn't play that much. Of the
I
demo,
can
so
talk
know
about
where
the
it
game that
ends.
he's talking about too, though. So
Because that's how demos and embargoes work.
yeah,
Mhm.
I forgot.
didn't this happen? Didn't we go through this with Kirby? You were real
we?
mad
No.
about that.
let's not rehash that.
No, I was able to
Um,
talk about Kirby though when we talked about it on podcast.
Yeah. Anywho, that is not
Anyways.
part of this conversation.
So
Yeah.
for those who did play like God of War, like the last one, was there much shown in that trailer? Because to me, it was just kind of like, oh, here's the story. Like it didn't look like they were doing much, but stoking the flames of hype.
My partner was pretty excited about it. That's all I got though.
Mhm.
Yeah,
He
I
was
mean,
like, yes, trailer. And I was like, yay, you got that. So
I think especially like with something like this, less is more. Like they
Okay.
showed off, a little bit more of the story, so we kind of have like a bit of a idea of like what's gonna transpire. But like the last God of War was like so well built on its story that like kind of showing too much I think would definitely spoil it, because like we very clearly entered into a new realm of God of War that is like much more dramatized, I would say,
Okay.
whereas like the original 3 were like they had a pretty decent story, but like we all mostly came there for the action and the QTEs, because those like it's one of the few games that actually like doesn't overdo it with the QTEs.
Or originally
Seems
didn't
a lie.
anyways.
No, because it's like they balanced it pretty nicely. I think.
I mean, depends which game. There's some games that they didn't, but yes, sure.
I only played the original 3, so I don't know if they. Those ones
Anyways.
feel like they were pretty good.
Mhm.
So yeah, like I think it's just like showing off a little bit more of the combat. It's like they didn't show out anything outside of like the stuff you kind of got in the first one, like the Blades of Chaos and
Mhm.
the Frost Axe and everything.
Leviathan Axe.
Is it called the Leviathan Axe? I forget now. I thought it actually had like a proper name, but it's like
The Leviathan
actually
Axe.
went. Well, I thought it was like like the way like Mjolnir is like a proper like Norse name. I forgot though. And I mean, anyone who played through the first one already kind of knew that Thor was going to show up, because he shows up at the end. Spoiler alert.
Yeah,
But
it's the Leviathan Axe.
he's there now, so I mean, whatever. So yeah. I guess it's gonna be cool, because it looks like they're doing the more like proper like Norse depiction of Thor rather than like the Marvel version of it, which I think everyone's more accustomed to. So I'm sure he's
Okay.
gonna run around and be an absolute asshole, and everyone's gonna be like, "That's not the Thor I know."
Another.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's
Thor's
like,
a
well,
dick in mythology.
he's not. Yeah, he's not the Thor you know. Period.
Odin was also a dick. Like they're all.
Oh yeah, they were all dicks. So I guess we'll see. I'm curious about how one major plot element that I will not say
Mhm.
will potentially play out in this.
Okay.
The
know,
mystery.
Yeah, it's sort of about Atreus. That's as far as
Okay.
I'll go.
Okay,
now
I
that
know what you mean, but sure.
Yeah.
That's,
I'm not. Yeah, so I'm not gonna say what it is, but it's like now that
Mhm.
he's older, I'm curious to see like how things will transpire with his storyline. But it looks really good. I'm excited. I'd love to have a PS5 to be able to play it.
Fair. Fair point. I have
I'm
one
on
to
a-
be able to not play it. Does
I'm
that
on a
count?
list. I signed up for a list with Sony that they will email me as
Oh,
soon
we
as
know
one
you're on a
becomes
list
available.
somewhere.
Well, you're on a few lists probably.
Yeah.
yeah.
Real
Yeah.
jerks that love Nintendo. Top
Anyway.
10.
That's the list, sure.
Is there
That's the list we
anything
meant, yeah.
else from this state of play that any of us care about?
No, I think that's about it.
I mean,
Alright.
Like a Dragon, I'm sure is for somebody, but not for me.
Yeah.
That's gonna be. But all those games are fun, so that's just gonna be a big old barrel of laughs.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right.
Eventually.
Yeah, eventually.
Well, actually, I guess it's February 2023, but
It's actually not that
It's-
far. It's like 7
No.
months, 8 months.
not,
Yeah,
not even
It's
that.
five.
No,
It's
something a little
5,
lower.
guys. I'm glad you could all be
13
here.
months.
Time has no meaning. All these squares make a circle.
Everything-
It's fine.
Is pretty well within the like coming soon release window, right? Like even God of War is coming out
Like
in
November.
2 months.
Yeah,
2 months away.
Mhm.
So we do have a pretty solid slot of games coming out. Like it's kind of a weird like disparate thing because even like with like the direct, it's like it was kind of weird because it's something that Nintendo is usually pretty good at is like having stuff for the direct and not having like coming soon or like sometime next year as their release window.
Mhm.
Like they usually have dates for things. It was pretty good to see that Zelda actually has a release date, which is like what? Like
I think it's
March
cute
next
that
year?
we're all pretending release dates are real now. That's adorable.
No, I guess it doesn't matter at the end of the day if they need.
Although
to take
there's no
a little
like
time.
pandemic in the middle now, so it stands a chance.
Well,
Yeah,
Stands a chance. We might get there, folks. Maybe
we might. We'll see. We'll find out soon enough.
someday.
Speaking of getting somewhere, Brendan, you and Dana went somewhere this
Yes, we did.
well, last
What?
week.
Did we? That doesn't
We
sound
did.
true. I'm pretty sure I was here the whole time.
Yeah, you dreamed that whole entire thing, actually. Yeah.
This explains a lot, to be perfectly honest.
Wake up.
I didn't sleep for a week, so
Mm-hmm.
talk about how Brendan and I got maybe 2 hours of sleep every night while we were gone.
Yeah, we really
Yes.
killed it on that front.
So we went to TIFF. That
So where'd you
happened.
go?
Yeah, I guess we never got there. We
Tell
went
us
to the
about that.
Toronto International Film Festival. Shaq is still there.
What's he saying?
We're still writing things and possibly watching digital movies. So I guess TIFF has not ended. It ends on
Never ends.
Sunday.
That's a long festival. Damn.
It is so very long. So
It's
big.
only like a full week. It's actually not that long.
It's more than a full week. It started on Wednesday.
Thursday.
Well, stuff for it started on Wednesday and it goes until 2 Sundays. So math. Calendar?
10 days?
However.
That's like a fifth of the House of the Dragon season. That's a long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, it's some time. Yeah, Brendan, go ahead.
It was an interesting festival. The hard thing is TIFF's a hard thing to really discuss as a festival because it has so many elements that are just all over the place. You have like the films, you have the like events around the things, you have the red carpets, you have the rumor mills, you have everything coming out of TIFF, and this festival was no different. There was no real big scandals compared to Venice and all the other stuff, but you did have some fun red carpets that we were at that were
Yes.
interesting.
Yes, that is true. We got to do some red carpets. We
Mhm.
clearly did not figure out what we wanted to talk about for TIFF. This is going really well.
Well,
We
what
did
did you
the
watch?
what did we watch?
Lots.
Everything. Shaq, I think, just counted his 15th movie. He's on movie
God.
15 on his own. Now he's not writing all of those. Like he saw a bunch that we've seen, and he's kind of just seeing some for fun, which is cool.
I guess,
yeah.
like, I'm jealous of how that guy can watch movies. Like, I feel like I haven't watched,
can't.
sat down and like watched a movie. Like, I downloaded Monster Hunter because I was like, I'm gonna finally watch this movie. I know it's supposed to be a giant pile of crap,
Mhm.
but I want to watch it because I know it'll be fun. And this was like a month ago, and I have not watched it.
I figure that's a new problem, though.
Like, and then
See,
I go on
I'm not-
TikTok and I see that Shaq has watched like his like 10th movie of like 2 days.
Yeah, I'm not huge into movie watching. I like movies. I just don't. I can't focus like that. Like my
It's hard to
downtime,
commit.
I want to just like die inside and not think. And since I've started this job, every time I see a movie or even a TV show, I start like criticizing it or tearing it
Right.
apart or being like, "Hey, I should write something about this." I'm like,
One
"Dear
of
God,"
us.
like. So I just stop now, right? And I had said to Brendan, I've never seen a movie by myself in my life. This was my first time I was like watching movies alone. And I
Yeah.
saw some heavy movies. And I learned that crying at a movie when you're with somebody feels normal. Crying at a movie when you're sitting alone makes
It's
you
the
feel like a
saddest thing in the
crazy
world.
person. Like I felt insane. I'm like, somebody's gonna see me ugly crying in the corner. It
I'm
was-
gonna throw it out there. I was sitting in a few movies just for myself, for like The Whale, etc. And I saw lots of people around me that were alone crying. So I feel that is normal. And they were men. Just
Okay.
throwing it out there.
There you go.
Yeah, no, men have feelings too, man.
I mean, I
Spoiler
shed a
alert.
tear. I shed a tear for some of these movies.
I'm pretty sure you're dry inside. Dry? Dry. That's a sentence I wish I
That's
Dead
didn't
inside, you mean?
say.
Take that
No, I meant dry inside because of the crying thing, but there, I take it back.
Yeah,
Do I?
that. Take two.
Do I?
Yeah.
Nah, no, I'm committing. Let's go.
Do you
Okay.
want a fresh take?
But yeah, you were asking what we saw. There were quite a few things we saw together just because we weren't sure who was better to cover it or because we had like a 4-hour gap in our schedule. There were things we saw apart. Me personally, the first thing that we saw was Triangle of Sadness.
Yes, that's
It's
a
a
weird movie.
Woody
Triangle
Harrelson
strategy.
movie. It's yeah,
Triangle
all
of
I
strategy.
keep telling people is it's an experience. I went into it knowing absolutely nothing. I was like, I think they're on a boat, and that was the extent of my knowledge of this movie. And I cannot recommend going into it like that enough. Like, it was good the entire time. I was like, what is happening? Where is this going? I don't understand. And in like the best possible way. It was a lot of fun.
It went places that were just
It did.
strange.
It went some places. And then let's see. Let's go through this. What did we see? Way too many things. I've got a calendar that will tell us, folks. Oh God, the
There you go.
calendar. The calendar. So yeah, Triangle of Sadness was the first thing, and then we went into Weird Al, which Brendan's review is up on the
Nice.
site. My review for Triangle of Sadness is up. We were lucky we got to go to the premiere for Weird Al. So like
Yeah.
Daniel Radcliffe was there, Weird Al was there, not Judd, wrong movie. Who else was there for that?
Oh, wow.
Sorry, I'm so glad we were.
Evan Rachel
prepared.
Wood.
Yeah, Evan Rachel Wood was there for that. Like, so that was pretty cool. My niece told me she hates me because I was in the same room with Daniel Radcliffe at one point, the same room with Ralph Fiennes at one point. So
I hate
she
you
has.
because you're in the same room
I
with
said
Weird
that.
Al.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I've been disowned by her, but
Aw.
that was pretty cool. We got to listen to a Q&A and just everyone kind of had a blast with the movie. It was wild. It wasn't quite a true biopic.
No, and that was the funniest thing because like I was talking about wanting to see it, and like I was with my mom, and she was like, "I had no idea that he was in this like long-standing relationship with Madonna," and I was like,
Mom.
"He
Mom.
wasn't." And
Get
he
the
had
joke,
like this
Mom.
like problem with alcohol and stuff. I'm like, "Mom, the
Mom.
whole thing is a joke. Like little bits and pieces are maybe based on fact, but it's like." It's the whole thing's a parody. Like, no,
Yeah.
I read an article. It said he dated Madonna for a long time. I'm like, no, he's Weird Al. No,
Yeah,
he didn't.
He 1000% did not.
No. Anyway, that was an experience. I was supposed to see Moving On and didn't because that was really early in the morning. And we went to a Midnight Madness for Weird Al. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do sleep
Let's
for
get up
2
really early.
minutes. You know what happened anyway? I slept for 2 minutes. I saw Prisoner's Daughter with Kate Beckinsale and Brian
Cox.
Cox. Okay, I was going to say Gleason. That was not right.
Crank.
That was a different person, I think.
Yeah, no, not the same person. That one was rough.
Mhm.
It was very much like trying to win an Oscar.
Yeah.
Like it was
Oscar bait.
Oscar bait.
Yeah, it was a
Drinks
lot.
Minnesota.
Brian Cox was good. Kate Beckinsale, I'm still trying to figure out. Like, I still legitimately don't know if she was playing a character or if she is actually that plastic now. Like, she was pointy.
Harsh.
Yeah, no, like well, she plays like a Vegas showgirl, but I
Right.
legitimately don't know if that so I don't know, maybe that means she did a good job. But yeah, it was I don't know, it was just kind of annoying. Like there were
Yeah.
moments like I've lost my father, so like there were moments where there was like some father-daughter stuff happening that I was like, my heart. But then I was just like, this is trying really hard. And it was really predictable. Like Brendan and I the whole time were like, so this is what's happening next. Oh, there it goes.
One of those, yeah.
So, yeah, it was definitely one of those. We saw a movie called Roost, which wasn't like one of the bigger ones, but it was actually pretty good.
I liked it.
It just premiered tonight, actually. So the review just went up on the site a couple hours ago.
I personally feel that there was a tonal issue later in the film that didn't really. Its morality was all kind of mixed for me, but I think it was good otherwise.
Mm-hmm. It's yeah, that movie also goes places. It's like twist, twist, twist.
There's a few twists. It goes to a few places.
Mm-hmm. So would recommend though still.
Mm.
I put down before we saw it that I wanted to see it because it looked like a slutty movie. It's not really. Still good though.
It's not at all.
That's the criteria.
Yeah, I thought so. And then I think our next one up that night was Bros. So that's the Billy Eichner movie, produced by Judd Apatow.
Now, question.
Yeah,
Did you see that before Hose?
I'm leaving.
Get out.
Goodbye.
And
Turn off.
scene.
That's it.
Turn off.
That's it.
Turn off the camera. He's good. No, we got to go. We got to go to the premiere for Bros too. So like the entire cast was there, and that cast is jam packed with like everyone from the LGBTQ. And it was really cool to listen to them after the movie just talk about how much it meant to them. It is the first gay-led movie made by a major studio. I believe it's Universal.
With like,
I
like
think that is Universal,
majority, like LGBTQ
Like,
actors
the
and actresses too,
entire
right?
cast.
Yeah.
I just read the entire cast.
Is the boyfriend in the movie gay as well?
I am 90% sure since they said the entire cast.
Okay. I just didn't know. He does like Hallmark movies for a lot of his things. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
super cute.
he
He's
is,
also
yeah.
from here. He's from Ontario.
Yeah, he's from London, I think.
No, is it Ontario? I just know he's Canadian.
He is from London, Ontario.
Yeah, there you go.
Point for
Chris.
us.
There you go.
Oh,
I'm
Harvey
gonna
confirm
Firestein,
this.
yeah, of course.
But I have to say it was really good. Like think like Bridesmaids. It's that kind of comedy. I don't know if you know anything about Billy Eichner. If you've seen Billy on the Street, and he
Yeah.
just like goes
yeah.
a mile a minute.
So
This
funny.
movie definitely goes a mile a minute. Like the first half, like there's no spaces between anybody's sentences. But it's a lot of fun. It's got some sweet moments. It's got some dumb moments. It's got some stereotypical moments. So, but listening to the talk about it after, like Billy Eichner was in tears. Like this means a lot. What?
He came out in 2008.
There you go.
Yeah.
Same. No, not true. But yeah, so it was a lot of fun. And it was a late show. The theater was just howling for like a solid probably hour nonstop laughing. Then it gets into like some serious stuff, and I guess the main message of the movie is just to take up space, and that makes me happy. I don't know, how much
So,
more do we want to go through?
We might as well go. We have there's a few. Let's go for the major ones that really kind of moved.
Chris,
us.
what were you gonna say?
I was going to ask you about Alice Darling because you saw Anna Kendrick on the red carpet for that.
Mm.
And then I tried to find a trailer for it online. I couldn't find anything. So I'm
There's
curious to hear about
barely
this one.
there isn't even a movie poster for that. Alice Starling was really good. It was not my favorite of like it wasn't my 10 out of 10, if you will,
Mhm.
but was still probably my favorite. Let's put it that way. Didn't score the highest, but like scored the highest in my heart.
Personal
And
flavor,
not
yeah.
just because I'm in love with Anna Kendrick, who, by the way, I got to talk to, and I only freaked out like a little bit,
You did
a lot of
nailed
it. Yeah, so Alice Starling is about emotional and mental abuse in relationships. It hits close to home in a few ways, and it kind of made me look at a lot of the things that I do in my relationships and even my friendships, and notice things that have been done to me that I may not have noticed. It's very much about Alice, Anna Kendrick's character. She is in a relationship with a man, and she has, pulled away from her friends. She can't go out for drinks because he'll judge her. He's messaging her while she's out saying, "I wish you were here," which sounds really sweet and innocent, but you
Well,
see it
no,
goes
it's
deeper
not.
and
It's so
deeper.
manipulative.
Yeah, yeah. It's about that sort of thing. It's gaslighting, it's manipulation, it's guilt. She's starving herself. It's a lot. And then the secondary but way better message is like the power of friendship. So there is this group of 3 women that have been friends since they were children, and this relationship is kind of pulling her away from that.
Right.
And it comes together. I believe I let out a loud cheer at one point in the movie, but like it was a hard watch. Anna Kendrick crushed it. Like there's no like, crazy speeches or anything like that,
Mhm.
but like just watching her fall apart. Like one of the things that she does to cope is like pulls out her hair. And it's hard because I part of the message in that is you know somebody that's been there. You probably know someone that's there right now, or you're doing it and might not know. And
Mhm.
it was rough. I'm tearing up a little bit, but it was really good. The women in the movie are badass. I got to speak to one of them, and she towered over Brendan, which was fun. She could kill me if she wanted to. So, but it was cool. And Anna Kendrick is with heels on, shorter than me without heels on. So
Yeah.
like she is wee, and this woman was gigantic. So there's the only image that's out for the movie right now is Anna Kendrick between these 2 women, and like she's just so protected. Yeah, that was Alice Starling. Women talking is another major one. Really, really hard subject matter. It's about like women in a Mennonite colony. They find out that the men have been drugging and raping the women and children, and they have to decide to stay and fight, leave, or pretend nothing happened. And it's just a 2-hour movie of 2 days of these women talking, and it is brutal. I will never watch it again, but it was great. And that is all I'm going to say on that because that's a lot of talking about sad stuff. Brendan, move on to your sad stuff.
I don't think I. Oh yeah, I guess the
Oh
whale.
yeah, the whale. You didn't
Yeah.
see anything
Oh,
sad?
yeah.
Yeah, the whale's sad. The whale is like. Everyone, does anyone know Aronofsky from his work like Requiem for a Dream and that sort of thing?
Yes, that was a scarring movie when I was way too
Yeah.
young to watch it.
That's the
that.
thing they show in like drug presentations when we were in high school. Yeah.
Well, this is a similar level of dark, but it's about
With less double-ended dildos, I assume.
as far. Like,
Yeah, I managed to work that into a
As far as I
podcast.
know.
There you go. Jesus.
I mean, I don't know what the character of Charlie has in his back room, but who knows? But it is oddly dark. It is about a man that basically has lost everything and has given up, and he has basically used food as a way to kind of deal with the pain because his partner died from not eating. So it's weirdly dark.
I wonder if they took inspiration from like Seven. Anybody remember that?
I mean, it is. It's a hard watch. Some people have said that it's hateful because of the how Brendan Fraser is portrayed, but I don't think it's meant to be that way. I think it's more of meant to be a look at one man's pain and how it is kind of expressed throughout, like visually, even though it's underneath the surface, it's much different. And I think Brendan Fraser did a fantastic role in that movie. That you saw that raw emotion brought to the screen in a way that I don't think Fraser has done in before. I think it was a great character. I don't ever, again, much like when we're talking, I don't think I will ever watch The Whale again because it is just about like 2 hours of someone dying, and I don't need more of that in my life.
No.
That's fair.
You know what we do need to talk about though?
What?
So we saw The Sun, which is the Hugh Jackman
yeah.
movie. We'll talk about that movie in a minute. But more importantly, we will talk about how Entertainment Tonight said that Hugh Jackman got a 10-minute standing ovation for that movie when Brendan and I were 6 feet away from Hugh Jackman, and that never happened.
No, it was
Trying
like
to
a minute
top
at
Brendan
most.
Fraser's ovation.
Yeah, like we were my mom's like, this is what Entertainment Tonight or ET Canada or whatever it's called is saying. And I'm like, that didn't happen.
No.
And she's like, well, they said that it did. I'm like, well, I was
I was
there. I could have
there.
thrown something at Hugh Jackman, which we didn't
Yeah.
know until the end of the movie after we spent the whole movie making fun of the movie. So that's awkward.
Ugh.
Yeah, that didn't
Yeah.
happen like at all. Maybe 2 minutes, maybe
And even then, it
long
was
enough
more-
for Brendan and I to sit there and say, I'm not standing up for this. And then to stand up because we felt weird and then to sit back down. That's
Well,
It was definitely, it was not over 2 minutes at most. And even then, it probably was like a minute and something. And we just kind of like awkwardly, like, should we stand up? I don't know. I don't want to stand up. That was not worth a standing ovation.
yeah. So, well, I guess Hugh Jackman maybe was, but
Yeah, but nothing
Yeah.
else.
that didn't happen. I just want the world to know that that didn't happen.
No.
I mean, to be fair, how many times have you been in a standing ovation where you're like, yeah, this is valid, and it's not just like, well, everyone else is doing it, I can't just sit down or I'll be rude.
I've seen a few. There's a few I've stood for during TIFF that I thought, yep, yeah, that's worth it.
Yeah.
I think the
Uh,
Bros
the-
one was pretty good.
Yeah, the Bros one was good. And Billy Eichner yelled, I want a standing ovation longer than Brendan Fraser's. So
I think
people kept
the
clapping.
menu one was worth it. Like that one lasted about 2 to 3 minutes.
We will get to the menu. But yeah, just wanted to be clear that that didn't happen. Do we talk about The Sun?
I mean, sure, it's not much to
fucking
say.
Awful. No, there's lots to say. It's terrible. Like, terrible. And I don't understand how it's not. Like, no.
I think the biggest problem after
Was that it was terrible? Was that the
the
problem?
script. I think the translated script and the kid that plays Nicholas is just bad in the role.
So you can start with the script is just awkward. Like,
Yeah.
there's not a contraction in the entire thing.
Yeah.
I wish I would have wrote down like examples while we were watching it, but just like everything was completely unnatural.
Mhm.
There's a teenager yelling at his father in like the most formal way possible, and you're like, those are not words that anybody would use. And
What about
Forsooth, father?
no, what
Yeah.
about I still find the thing of I'm invited to a house party, but I don't know how to dance, so I can't go. I'm like, no one in the history of ever
What
has
year
ever
is
said-
No,
that
in the
place?
50s they said that, and
Yeah.
then from there the family
the
goes
song.
into a living room dance party, which okay, fine, I have absolutely done that in my house. And then the mother and father are still dancing their hearts out, and it pans over to the kid just standing behind them like, and they're still going. I'm like, they can see him
They were literally looking at him, and he's just sitting looking off into space.
like he's going to stab himself in the eye, and they're just still living their best lives. So like there was a lot of
But all
Mm.
well, the baby's sleeping like 5 feet away from them.
that is true, and
Was he
Chris
a
can
ghost the whole
attest that they would
time?
no.
They turn the
No.
music way up.
No
that,
Sixth
that has
Sense, no?
nothing to do with what Chris was just saying, but that's fine. Yeah, so that was like those are just some of the issues. Like the foreshadowing was just awful and obvious. The
Yeah.
portrayal of mental health. Now, I will be the first to say that everyone's mental health journey is completely different, but like if you took somebody that has never had like any sort of anxiety,
Mhm.
depression, whatever, and they drew you a picture of what being sad looks like, this would be it.
I hear when you're sad, you yell about being sad a lot.
Yeah, like it just I don't know, man. Like it felt like completely just not genuine, not researched. And it was like as somebody who struggles in that department quite a bit, I'm like, nah, I don't like it. I'm not taking this. And it
That's
was
fair.
bad. And if anybody else says it's not bad, I'm gonna be like, they're wrong.
You're
And I
you're
don't
in
say
good
that
company on that one because a lot of people seem to be not liking this one.
And like people were saying that this is like going to be a masterpiece. And again, I know that you can jump into these kinds of movies and like people be like, this is art. And I'm like, am I just stupid? No, I was not
No.
stupid.
No, that one,
Believe it or not, Dana, art is pretentious sometimes.
Yeah.
but this wasn't
Stupid.
pretentious.
it was just bad.
I mean, talking to like the writer / translator and talking to the director, I walked into this movie thinking, oh, they put a lot of time into mental health. They're going to treat it with care. And then I'm like, after 10 minutes, I'm like, lean over. I'm like, this is not good.
And I'll say
So that was
Hugh
a lie.
Jackman.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman did a great job with what he was given, but it was still not natural. Like it was still Like there's plot holes in the story where they keep talking about, well, my dad is doing this, and you're like, but that never like. Why didn't they like they're skipping scenes for some? It's stupid. That's all I've got. Though I did get to meet Hugh Jackman on the red carpet too. So like,
So it's worth it.
It was a big week for me, guys. It was a big week for me.
After watching that movie, do you have any idea what his job was?
Well, I don't think we needed to. He was just important.
Business dude that has
Rich
money.
as fuck.
Maybe it's from the kid's perspective, and the kid has no idea what he does. He just knows that.
I thought he was a lawyer for half the movie, but then he's listed as like a businessman. I'm like, okay, sure.
Listed? Where's he listed? What are we
I'm
discussing?
I was looking at a description about like synopsis of the movie.
Well, it
Law is a
originally
business.
came from. That's true. It originally came from a play, so and plays are pretty vague and stuff like that. Like I'm going off to my business work.
That's
Theater,
a fair.
man. It's a mess.
Mm.
Anyway, moving on. That's
Anyways.
how we feel about that. We have a happy thing. We saw the menu, which is incredible. Probably our favorite
My favorite of the-
collectively. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's Rafe Fiennes.
Rafe Fiennes, yeah.
Frickin' Voldemort. John Leguizamo, Nicholas Holt, people whose names I can't remember that I got to interview,
Anna
and it
Taylor
was really
Joy,
cool.
is that right?
Yeah, Anna Taylor Joy.
Yeah,
So it was a lot of fun. It's a horror movie, kind of,
It's
but
listed
then
as horror,
also,
drama, thriller.
but also hilarious and outrageous.
It's a comedy too. It's a dark, like it's a satire about like opulence and how people that go to these like pretentious restaurants don't really appreciate anything they're doing, and it's showing how people that get to that position of being basically super elitist, the people that work in the kitchen and the people that work in like the dining room, or people that are in the dining room, don't really appreciate it, and it's kind of about how that all turns on its head when
I think during the movie, Brendan has never worked in like a restaurant, which is fine. I spent most of my life there. My family owned a restaurant when I was a kid, and like the things that the host is saying to people, I'm like, she is saying everything we want to say. It was a lot of fun. It was another movie where we're like, where is this why is that happening? What is going on? But in a good way again. It was a lot of fun. Would recommend to pretty much everybody, so long as you can handle a little bit of blood. If you can't, maybe don't.
The set design and the like art direction was just fantastic. Even the ridiculous things that happened that
were beautiful.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. There's a final scene. I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's just designed so well.
Yeah, it was. We're gonna like speed through this so we're not boring everybody. We saw he saw Butcher's Crossing, actually really liked it. Nicolas Cage. I got to not talk to Nicolas Cage, but walk him go by. Catherine Called Birdie, that's a Lena Dunham family comedy. Bella Ramsey plays like a 14-year-old girl. Her parents are Lord and Lady. And they're trying to like marry her off, and she's horribly immature, and like it's great. It was a lot of fun, a lot of laughs. I made Brendan sit through that one. Probably wasn't his favorite. That one. Yeah, that's not, you don't like happiness. So it was really good though. It was a lot of fun. We got My Policeman. Ask Brendan how he felt about that.
I Dana toned back my words. I was a little bit meaner in the original version of the review that will be going live.
No, I changed his reviews apparently. Why you gotta tell people that?
But I felt it was shallow. It was dull. I didn't actually understand. None of the characters really had.
Those weren't the words I toned back, by the way.
No, Harry Styles is a bad actor, and I don't care who knows.
That's fine. That's good.
So which one was that?
My Policeman.
So he was Don't Worry Darling also shown?
No, that was not at TIFF. That was at the other
Venice.
Oh, okay. I thought it was at TIFF too. I was about to ask
that
about
one
that one.
Didn't come to TIFF.
Because
Harry Styles was also kind of a dill hole.
Yeah.
Anybody's
I was watching the
wondering.
trailer for it. I'm like, oh, why is this guy getting roles just because he was in One Direction? Like, it doesn't seem like he's a good actor just in a trailer.
Because
And then the
he's
whole spitting
some
thing.
form of queer.
Yes.
That's all there is to it.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing. The people that played the elderly versions of the people that are played by hot people did better job than any of the hot people in that movie.
Experience, man.
Fair.
Yeah, I know the red carpet for that. We didn't do that one. We were doing something else.
I
But
don't think we got into that one. That one was,
apparently, I wasn't going to say that. I don't think we got into that one. Thanks, Brendan.
maybe we did. I forget.
No, we didn't. This is
We'll never
awkward.
know.
No, I know. It's my job to know.
Who can tell?
Anyway,
It's a
I guess
mystery.
everyone that went to it said it was completely useless. Like Harry
Mhm.
Styles. So they come out, they go for like pictures, and then come down the red carpet. And he went for pictures, went back up, and never even walked the red carpet. So
Cool.
people, like all of the media, there's like 40 outlets sitting there waiting to talk to him or at least take pictures of him. And anybody that took the spots to take like video and interviews got nothing.
That's
And he's like
class.
the thing right now. I don't know. It could have been because they were late. It could have been whatever. That happens a lot on red carpets. That happens to a lot of people.
It was said before he came out that he would not do
wouldn't say
anything.
I thought he would still walk, though. I mean, Julia Stiles walked. She very quickly passed us, and we didn't know why she was there, but it happened. Anyway, that's how he felt about My Policeman. The Good Nurse, that's Jessica Chastain and Eddie Redmayne. Eddie Redmayne is friggin' terrifying. Like the fact that that's a true story. It's about a man that was a nurse. It's a true story with the woman that was Jessica Chastain's character was on stage talking about it at the press conference. And yeah, he was injecting insulin into saline bags, like IV bags, and it was over
Yeah, that'll
time.
do it.
So he would put them in, and another nurse would hang it, and like the next day or hours later, when he's not there, they would die. And he is in prison, serving I think 29 consecutive life sentences. They think they have him confirmed for killing 29 people, but they think it's more like 400.
Jesus Christ.
And Eddie Redmayne, yeah, he made you like
That's a
him,
role.
and that's
Weird.
and kind of feel bad for him. Like even the woman that was talking about it, she's like he was my friend, like that. Yeah. So that
Wow.
movie's messed up, but wasn't my favorite. Like it was fine. It was there. It was a messed up story, but it was fine. I don't know. Did we see any more? I know we did. I just don't know
Did you
what.
see
Empire
Glass
of Light, you
Onion?
saw? No, that was on Shaq's list. I really wanted to see it though. It
Okay.
seemed like a lot of
Yeah, I'm curious. Glass Onion.
Yeah, I do want to mention just the pearl red carpet and how bonkers that was.
So we weren't supposed to be on that red carpet. We didn't get into it, and we were in the sun. And they lock the red carpet at a certain time. Nobody can come in and out or out. You have to stay until they unlock it. And we got out of our movie like an hour after the lock, and it was just chaos. We literally just walked in and started hanging out with some other media that we had met. We're just like, we're not like going to take your spot or anything, but we're just here to hang out. They're like, yeah, go ahead. All the talent showed up late. I think 2 people got to speak to the director. No one got to speak to Mia.
The thing is, she was there with time. She just decided, like, I'm just going to walk to the crowd now, and she just spent like
She went
15 minutes just talking to
No,
people.
it wasn't that much time. It was only a few minutes. They had 5 minutes to get her inside, and she wandered off to talk to the fans, which I mean, okay, fine, whatever. But Eli Roth was there for no reason. And walked the red carpet more than anyone that had anything to do with the movie, and spoke to more of the media than anyone that had anything to do with the movie. So I was just happy to be
No pressure,
there.
right?
Yeah,
He
like
had
I have a
great
huge crush
too.
on Eli Roth. I was like, I'm just gonna like he was standing like in the back in the corner in a bright green sweater, and I was just like, is that fucking Brendan? That's Eli Roth. He's like, no. I'm like, yeah, no, it totally is. He's like, it is. And then I just
He's
tried
not
to
in this.
sneakily take pictures of him. He's nothing to do with it, but it's good.
Interesting.
We missed Fablemans, which the
Yeah.
trailer just came out today and looks great. So I'm sad that I missed that now. I know Shaq saw Raymond and Ray. I think Shaq's seeing the Fablemans. Shaq saw Glass Onion. He's seeing Brother, Black Ice, Chevalier. He saw Sick. He saw Pearl.
Yeah.
He took on all the horror stuff that Brendan normally does, and then we gave Brendan all the sad shit.
I didn't think I saw was sad.
Is Empire of Light not sad? I thought it was kind of sad too.
It's just kind of flat.
Flat.
Like it's the guy that did American Beauty, and he clearly has good filmmaking like abilities, and he wrote and directed this one, and there's some good ideas there, but
Too many of them.
it deals with mental health, racism, sexual assault, sexual like persuasion, um, grooming a bit, sort of.
Some sort of politics involved too.
Oh yeah,
maybe.
like the politics of Britain of the time, and movies, all wrapped around the love of movies.
Wasn't there like disease too? Or am I making that up?
There was no disease, no.
Different movie that was disease, I guess.
So it's kind of like a summary of the entire festival's themes in one.
Yeah, but it was only like an hour 45, I think, maybe 2 hours at most.
That's a lot packed in. That's tight.
Yeah, so, but it also just kind of dropped things like the main character played by, I forget her name.
Lydia something.
Yeah, Olivia Colman.
Yeah.
She has schizophrenia, and she just kind of gets bad at one point because she stops taking her meds. Then she just kind of leaves the movie for a bit, and it deals with the other main actor for a while. Then she comes back.
That's good.
Yeah, just kind of appears again. You're like, oh, I'm better now. Like, okay, cool. You're better now. That's great.
Super happy for you.
And
Glad
then
we could do this.
Right on.
Then the other main actor gets beat because he's black. So some neo-Nazis beat him up for a while, and then he goes to the hospital. But then he just kind of gets better and it's fine. She's also dating him, and she's like, I think supposed to be in her like late 40s, and he's supposed to be like 20. So that's weird.
Hey man, settle down. Let's do our thing.
There's a lot going on. Like also there's like themes of like this movie theater is great and it should come back again and get revived, and that just kind of get dropped too. They do a scene where they paint it a bit, and they're like, yeah, we're good now.
I'm really glad they got through
I'll
that.
do it.
Why
Yeah,
not?
it just feels like there's a lot going on. He wanted to bring all these concepts to head, and then just because like, what if we just kind of vaguely touch on them randomly during this like a few weeks, and it's done now? Yay!
Mission accomplished.
Yeah,
Okay.
so like there's clearly some love to the subject matter, and it wants to just be kind of feel good, but then it ends on kind of just a happy note of like everything's great now. I'm like,
So of the movies you saw, then let's wrap this up real quick. Best movie and favorite movie. Those are two different things, possibly.
for me, I think The Menu is best and favorite.
Ooh.
Mm.
I really have nothing bad to say about that movie. Like it was fantastic on all fronts.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there. Yeah. I can't remember what her name was in the movie. The woman that plays the host was
Yeah,
excellent.
she was also in The Whale.
Yeah, playing a very different character, so I hear.
Much different.
Yeah, she was excellent. We'll watch things she is in.
Yeah,
Excellent.
she is. She was also in the Watchmen series as one of the main villains, I guess. But yeah, she is fantastic. She did a great job bringing that no nonsense Hong Choi. I can't.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
We're gonna
either way,
butcher it.
she did a great job bringing that like a no nonsense hostess that just was done with everyone's shit.
I don't even think
So-
I can answer that though. Like as far as best and favorite, because you're right, the menu was up there. It was good. I really liked Alice Darling as well,
Mhm.
but I wouldn't say that was the best. The menu maybe because
Yeah.
of all the things it does, just because it's not like crushing my dreams and making me want to hate my life. Women Talking was pretty up there.
Mhm.
It was a hard watch, especially as a mother. But yeah, that was something. So I think those are my weirdest friggin' movie was Triangle of Sadness, believe it or
That
not.
one was. I think that movie would have been one of my top picks if it like just cut out that end segment. I don't think that did anything for me.
Yeah.
I think if it was just the boat, I think I'd be totally fine.
Cool.
That's vague, and look forward to finding what that
It's like
means.
got 3 acts, I guess, and you're like, oh, this is happening, and then you're like, I don't know why this is happening, but it is.
Oh, so the
Yeah.
entire third act then is bad? Or not bad, but just could have done without?
It doesn't do anything for me. It didn't work for me.
Well, it was so the movie looks at like race and class and politics and like gender privilege and pretty much everything that you can think of that is some sort of like class system. And the third act does Yeah, no, you're wrong, actually. I'm
I
just
just
going to say
didn't-
you're wrong because it literally is the point that shows you that we're all shit. And that's the point of the movie. It's to show you that every damn one of us is shit.
Fair.
It's an
Uplifting.
Fair.
Yeah, so
Merry
without
Christmas
that,
to all.
without what happens
Be a
in that
nice
last
human.
part, we
Mm.
miss a huge part of the movie.
They could have cut it some fat there, though. I don't know.
Oh yeah, you could definitely cut some shit out of it, but it's significant.
There's a montage of a guy going to a place for like 15 minutes. Like, it was too much.
Going to a place. Anyway,
Anyways,
I didn't want to spoil anything, so I had to be vague.
that's fair.
I know I
That's
just can't
fair.
figure out what we're talking about, so we'll catch up. Anyway.
How many 15-minute model or montages were there then if you can't figure?
That
The
movie was
whole
basically
movie was a
dialogue and montages.
montage.
Yeah.
that's pretty much what
Montage, the
happened.
movie.
Montaging.
Oh, there's some weird scenes in that movie.
We're just scarred now. We're just gonna. It's fine.
So with that, is it
Good.
time to montage into the ending?
Yeah,
Montage. I don't know. What that
Star
was.
wipe.
I apologize.
I still have this song that was in that movie where shit is exploding out of toilets, and there's just like
Why?
metal song.
Why are you doing that?
It's great.
Why would you do
Sometimes there's
that?
shit on the outside of the toilet, but yeah.
Like the only thing I asked is you say nothing about that movie, and you're like, "Here, let me tell you everything that happens."
Probably the weirdest spoiler you could, not spoiler, but the weirdest thing you could probably say out of context, I imagine. But I'm probably
It's
wrong.
probably
by the sounds of
not.
it.
No.
Would recommend.
Yeah.
Just so that you can jump in on this conversation later and be like, "What the hell happened?"
Just get that Rosetta Stone for this conversation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well,
So,
it sounds like you guys had a fun, busy week there.
It was busy.
I still got 4 movies I'm going to try and watch online. One of them used to be called Pussy, but they changed it to Soft. Just so you know.
No, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna ask.
No,
No,
No, it,
just
it
better
was
not to ask.
listed up until like 2 days before the festival as Pussy, and then it said Soft, formally named. It's like, oh, all right.
The movie formerly known as Pussy.
Yeah, pretty much. Chris is like, I can't. I'm done. We're out.
I hate
It's
myself,
11
but I
p.m.
had to make the
Goodbye.
Prince joke.
We did.
Oh, you know
We
what?
did.
That reminds me of that
Oh,
other
God.
Daniel Radcliffe movie. No, because I remember a long time ago. I went to like it was kind of like a test screener for the Daniel Radcliffe and Zoe Kazan.
Is that the F word?
It was called the F word. They changed it to What If, like when they released it in theaters.
Right. Yeah,
I
I
was
like
like,
that movie.
why?
That was
Like,
a good movie.
It was good. It's just like it bothered me so much because like the original title was so good and it like actually fit like the theme and like the the motif of the movie.
was a
Why
catchy
change
name.
it to something stupid like What If?
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
dumb.
It is.
And it has Adam Driver in like one of his funniest roles.
Oh, it was so good in it.
I've never seen that.
I just
It's
made
good. You should check it
nachos,
out.
And now I'm gonna eat nachos.
Yeah. That was like that scene was in the trailer. Like, I gotta watch this now.
it's
Kylo Ren just had
so
sex.
good,
He's about to
yeah.
eat nachos. This is the best day of his life.
No, he was so
This is
good.
that's the whole movie, isn't it?
I'm
Yeah.
Anyways,
fully
on that
supporting
note,
this.
that's going to do it for us this week. If you'd like to read more on these topics and more, including reviews of most of these movies that were just mentioned, you can
If not,
find
they're
full
coming.
coverage at cgmagonline.com now or soon, depending on the movie and embargoes. Be sure to follow CG Magazine on all those socials. Just search for CG Mag. You'll find us. And if you have any questions or comments, you can send them to podcast@cgmagonline.com. Jordan, where can people find you?
You can find me sometimes on TikTok, sometimes on Instagram at NinjaXJordan. I actually just did a tasting of the KFC Ruffles chips on TikTok. It's
Saw that,
pretty-
then bought
pretty
them. So like
enjoyable.
you inspired me.
There
I
you
thought that
go,
was going
see?
somewhere fancier than KFC potato chips.
Brand-
but
No.
a tasting,
a
a
TikTok
sampling.
And you can also find me on YouTube at Ninja Jordan Reviews.
That's true. You can find me on most socials at the Dana Eileen. If you can't spell my name, you can go to our website or watch the stream and figure it out.
Yeah, it's
There you
right,
go.
it's right there.
It's right there in the name, people.
I'm
Yeah.
BFry26 and everything.
You can everything, even on Vine.
Probably.
And you can sure, why not, dude? Brent's still doing it for the Vine out there. And you can find me on Twitter at Hugathy or here on Twitch at Guild2Tops. Or if you're going to be at London Comic Con, come by on the Sunday afternoon. I got a panel going on about Star Wars
Awesome.
with my other podcast, so check that out.
Those other people.
Those other people. Quarter portion. Anyways, that'll do it for us this week. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next week.
Brendan's not ready to press the goodbye button.
No one's ever ready to press the goodbye button at the awkward
Because
wave.
we always
Too
forget
hard.
it's us. Just everybody keep waving.